Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been 24 hours, actually probably a little bit over since we started it, obviously. So let's see, let's recap how she went for the last, we'll just call it day and a half, give or take. So I ended up getting that pump figured out. I did take it off, plugged it in and still didn't do it, but then that little little screw that you can take off, I did just put a screwdriver in there and twist it, and it just, I don't know if when I took it out, obviously there was water still in it originally from the other boiler, that when it air dried it kind of just got a little crusty or something, I don't know. But either way, it wasn't like it was tough, it just cracked it or whatever. Plugged it back in and runs fine. Put it on there and it's been running no problem. So I ended up probably putting, give or take, a full wheelbarrow worth last night in there. About, you know, just kind of thrown in here, and I threw it in there. So nothing crazy. That was probably around, it was still daylight, so like 6 o'clock I did that. And came out here this morning, I'd say around 8:30. And it was still at temp, everything was fine. Opened it up and there was still actually a good amount of wood in there, but the only thing that was running was the house and the hot water tank. I did have the loop to the garage going, but no heat on in the garage or the kiln. So then I looked at my chart. The house didn't pull heat till around 4 o'clock in the morning, and then a couple times after that till 6 was when it kicks back on 3 more degrees, so that obviously it's going to pull a bit more. So from, I think it was from 10 p.m. till 8 in the morning, it only cycled, I think, 4 times, and that was it. Which I thought was pretty good. So that would explain why there was a good amount of wood still left in there. So at 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, I put a bunch of wood in there. When I say a bunch, I mean about the same amount I put in there last night. Turned the kiln on. And I kind of was out here for a while because I wanted to see how much the kiln would draw initially, right? I mean, I kind of have an idea when it's cold, it'll pull about 40 degrees, and then it goes up pretty quick, so it'll be like 40, 35, 30, and down. Once it gets up to my set point, then it'll kind of cycle to keep it there, right? So it's been going all day today. And I had to fill it right around 6 o'clock again. So it gave me about 10 hours of the load that I had on there. So, which actually isn't bad. So I compared it to how much wood I would put in my G10000. And I think it just turned on. Yep. Now I know if I turned on the kiln, my G10000, it would probably cycle once every 30 minutes, give or take, I would say. So with this, since the kiln's been on and the house has turned on and off a few times today, I've noticed that it wouldn't turn on till roughly almost 2 hours. When I say that, I mean from when it drops to down to 170 from 180, give or take. So I virtually triple, quadruple how long it takes, right? Now, the other difference is when the kiln's running and then when it hits that 170 on my G series, it would probably take 45 minutes to get back up to temp with that constant draw. Now, this guy, it just turned on, it'll get back up to temp probably within 5 to 7 minutes, which I find to be absolutely crazy. To me, that is insane. And it'll overshoot my 180. I've seen it go up to 185 one time. That was when I loaded it tonight, because it dropped down to 165. So I had to jump up, roughly 15 degrees. So she was wide open cranking for that 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, whatever. So it overshoot. I'm okay with that. That's why I'm not going to set it to 185 like I did on the G series, because I don't have to. It's probably going to get there no matter what. But the fact that the recovery time on this It is so good. It's absolutely crazy. I would have never thought that with that much that many gallons of water, 555 gallons, with the kiln pulling at all times. Now, when I actually do a kiln dried load, when I crank it wide open for the last 2 days, I still don't think it'll be that bad because the temperature in the kiln's higher. It's just a non-stop draw. It never stops. So I don't see, I mean, to me right now, this is crazy efficient considering, you know, it's a conventional, it's not a gasifier by any means, you know. So as far as that goes, I'm extremely impressed so far. The other, you know, a lot of people are like, well, the smoke, you know, this and that. Well, when I first load it, so I'm still establishing a coal bed. Right now I have some in there. There's not really a lot. I'm not burning the greatest wood either. Like all of this is, there's some hickory in here, but most of this, if I remember, that's that's basswood. It's all junk. What's all in these? These are all, there's some offcuts, so that's all hardwood there. So is that. But I've been burning a lot of small stuff. Now I'm starting to get into the actual like split size wood. I'll be excited once I start throwing like those full cutoffs in there. See how that does. So when I first loaded it this morning, it probably smoked for 3 minutes or so, and then it's just clear. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of haze. So, but when it does its first heat cycle on the new load, and then when it turns back on eventually, there's like no smoke, like at all. I don't know if that's because my wood is super dry. Obviously all of this has gone through the kiln, or what it is. Maybe it's because it's smaller splits versus big chunks, but there's like virtually nothing. To be honest with you, my G series smoked way more than this unit has so far. Now the only difference is when there's no smoke coming out, you can still smell the smoke. On the G series, you didn't really smell the smoke. It was like a unique smell. Anybody who has a G series understands what I'm talking about. You could smell it, but it's not like a campfire smoke smell. It's different. It's tolerable. Or if you kept yourself in the smoke of a campfire for a while, it's gonna smell bad. So it's kind of dark. I mean, it's obviously going, and there's absolutely no smoke whatsoever. I mean, there's nothing coming out of there. I'm sure there's probably a little bit, but there's nothing. In my G series, you would see it right now. So as far as that goes, I'm very impressed. The fact, I would have never thought the recovery time would have been where it is. And it's actually, I mean, it makes sense that this thing can do 800,000 BTUs all day long. So honestly, I'm pretty excited for next winter to see what happens when the house is called. And I'm going to do this test too, because I want to see. I'll have it where it's just about to kick on, turn the house on, both shops on, snow melt on, kiln running, and see what happens. And I bet you it's not even, it'll probably take a little bit longer, obviously, because the BTU on that snow melt system is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy how much that draws, because how big the system is. But honestly, yeah, I bet you it'd probably only take an extra 2-3 minutes and it'd be up to temp. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The fact that I can open the door and I've just been chucking it in. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm laying it out like I would in my G series, stacking it kind of nice. Here, I just throw it in. So a couple of questions for you guys. So since this model here is new to me, how often do you guys clean the ash pan? Is it once a day, once every day, once a week? I know it depends on what you're burning and whatnot. How often do you shake the grates? Do you shake them every time you load it? Once every couple days? I know it's all relative to what you're burning and what your heat load is, but... And then my other question is, how often do you clean up there? I know you should probably periodically check and see if it's building up. Obviously, I should have nothing up there. And then that baffle underneath, how do you guys really clean that? I mean, do you use that tool to get in there, or do you just pop that panel out and clean it? Or, I mean, how do you guys do it? It doesn't really tell you in the manual, and the dealer didn't tell me a thing, so I'm really kind of green on it. I mean, obviously I'd figure it out, but I just want to make sure that I stay on top of it. I know on the bottom, when you pull the pans out, you should check all the way to the back where the air comes in to make sure there's not any ash buildup. I mean, I get that. So I'm just curious to see what I should be doing, because obviously I probably burn more than most for the average person, that is. I just want to make sure that I keep it as efficient as possible. So, but so far so good. I mean, I was kind of concerned on the smoke. I'm not anymore. See, like right now it's still dropped 2 degrees. Now it's down to 168. So every time I've seen that, right, I'll walk away for like 3-4 minutes, come back, and it's already done. It's already back up to 180, and it's creeping after that. So it's just crazy once that fire gets roaring in there. It's just yeah, I'm just beside myself how excited and happy I am so far with this unit. So I think I made a good decision. I did put the water treatment in this morning. So the gauge is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost full. It's like probably when it's up to temp, it's just over 3/4, and I'm probably just gonna leave it like that. So I'll let that circulate for probably 3-4 days. I'll get a sample and I'll send it in. So, but yeah, I was gonna talk about the sensors that I put on here. I'll have to look at the box. I think this is what it's called. Yep, that's the name of them. I can't tell you how much they cost. I don't remember. It was over $100 for. I got 4 sensors, and that's like the hub that it sends the sensors to. So I put those on the not on the PEX for the 2 returns for now, and then I put it on the actual elbow of the supply. Now they have it where you can adjust the differential or whatever to make the temperature like kind of correct. So the supply line, I have it exactly perfect right now to what the boiler says. So, and I can monitor that on my phone from anywhere. It's all Wi-Fi, whatever. So it's kind of nice, and I can set alerts to let me know if it's below 160, that way I know the fire's out for the most part. I can come out here, because obviously in the G series you couldn't get alerts, but you could at least check on it. Or here, I already kind of fill it and walk away. I'm pretty comfortable with it already, which is nice. So, but at least I have an idea of what's going on. The only reason I put it on the returns is, yeah, I can monitor my kiln too, but at least here I can tell if the kiln's actually working or where it's kind of at, even though I already know what's going on with that. I mean, 5 days and it's good to go, even if the wood's super wet. So, but yeah, to me, it just kind of tells me when I can see what the return temps are, how efficient everything's running. It just kind of gives me an idea, you know, especially like, say, like when it's midwinter, when it's like really cold, it'll kind of give me a gauge on how much wood I should be putting in. Obviously, that all depends on species, we know. So obviously it's going to be a learning curve, but for the amount of wood I put in there, which honestly is probably maybe 1/10 of the box, I think I'll be good till morning. If not, no big deal. I mean, there should be some coals in there. I'll throw it in there and it'll ramp up real quick and should be good. So far so good. If someone bought this unit, I could tell you this right now. If someone bought this unit just to do their house and say a 4,000 square foot shop, and I don't care if their house was 5,000 square feet, this is way overkill. Way overkill. Like I said, if I didn't plan on doing my whole driveway with snow melt, I don't even know if this is gonna do that, but I'm gonna remedy that in a different way to help this. And a bigger kiln. There's no way I would have bought this. I would have kept my G10000, even though the sensors and the cleaning, you know, it's kind of a pain. But if you're just a traditional homeowner, you know, just heating your house and your hot water, you're not gonna burn that much, right? You probably don't have to clean it as much as I did. But at least with this, everything is, I always say it's like archaic, it's real easy. I mean, a caveman could do it, it's not hard. And then anybody can load it. The door level's low, you know, so I'm pretty happy about it. I can't wait to start throwing in just big logs, and I'm still gonna dry them though, depending on what they are. I know you guys are gonna say that's just dumb, you're defeating the purpose, but the more I can keep down on the smoke, the better. I'm all about that. You know, I kind of want to keep everybody happy. Not only that, if the wind's blowing this way, I don't want to smell that all day long either, or see it, or whatever, you know. So yeah, so far so good. What are we at here now? It still dropped another degree. So, but it's crazy though. That thing will just ramp right up real quick. But yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, she still fits in there pretty good. I mean, obviously it's a little bit bigger, but this, I'm underneath my lean-to, is kind of dead space, right? Even if I come in here with my tractor or skid loader, I can't make that turn anyways. You come this way, I could still get whatever equipment I want over here. You know, obviously I got my processor right now. That's going to have a new home eventually. Then I can park my truck or tractor or whatever that may be to kind of regain some space. Obviously I put a bunch of my boiler wood over here already. Kind of did all that today. Curious to see how long all this lasts. It's face cord 1, 2, we'll say 3, maybe 3.5. A little over a quart of wood I'd say is here. Curious to see how long this lasts. If I had to guess, probably 2-3 weeks maybe. 2 for sure, I'd say. Because once that kiln gets up to temp, it's actually not bad. It just holds. So far so good. No issues. I'd crack the door and show you, but it's just gonna billow out smoke in here, and I don't want that. I will be putting that exhaust fan in for sure. I'll have it where it kind of plumbs up just above it. I'll plumb it right out the side over here. As I moved a cabinet today, which I should have done that before, because that was a pain in the butt to get out of there, because there's like no room over there now. So, but other than that, she's running good. Pretty happy about it. I'm glad the pump's fine, so I don't have to put a different one in. But I'm pretty excited to get the new kiln built, plumb that, redo the plumbing to the snow melt. So I'll have 4 pumps on the back. Obviously, we won't be running the circulator pump for the snow melt in the summer. I'll just let that sit dormant. But the kiln will be running nonstop. Obviously, the shops I can probably turn off in a couple weeks here once I get the kiln out of there, because that's on the same loop. So, but other than that, no, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I don't really show too much emotion, but I'm pretty pumped up about it. I'm actually pretty glad I made that decision. It was a big change to go from that to this, but I'm very, very pleased so far, and I'm glad I did that, because I know this will handle, I think, 99% of my needs, what I'm going to be doing. I mean, the business is always growing, so the fact that I have the demand to continuously run the kiln and not have any issues, you know, the house, what I could have it at whatever temp, unlimited hot water, run the shops to whatever degree I want, you know, and eventually the snow melt, because to me that, you know, we're heating 4,000 square foot of concrete right now. Well, not now, but when it snows, and it just beats the living hell. I mean, it's just crazy how many BTUs that takes. I mean, going through that 200,000 plate exchanger, when you first start it up, we'll just say the water was 180 degrees, goes through that exchanger. When it came back, initially it's like 80 degrees, which we all know is not good to pump that cold of water. You shouldn't really go below 140. That's why I put those other 4 tanks there to kind of slow down the rate of cooling going into the boiler, so it could kind of keep up. And by the time, you know, I'd say within half hour, then, you know, the temp on the snow melt starts to rise, right? But it's still bad. I mean, it's still, even when it's at full temp, I mean, the glycol coming back's only, when it starts to cycle, is like 80, 88 degrees. So you're still probably going to take 180 to 80, about 50 degrees off the loop. So you're still putting down 130 degree back. I mean, it's just a lot. Think about that. 130 degrees at all times once it's up to temp, nonstop, until it starts to cycle and close off the loop. So if you catch my drift, that's a lot of BTUs. I mean, the boiler's just cranking. My G series, honestly, if I'm running the snow melt, it would never shut off. I mean, it would eventually get back up to temp, but I'd go through a face cord in a day just to heat my slab. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with this. It's still gonna take a lot, but this I know for a fact will get up to temp and it'll be fine. So So yeah, the big girl, so far she's not very hungry, which I'm pretty excited about. Obviously it's been warm, but you know, the house ran today. It was cloudy in the 50s, windy. House ran a bunch of times. No big deal for this, obviously. So I'm pretty excited that, you know, it only ran, what I say, 4 times over 12 hours last night. Only the house was on in the hot water, which never ran. So I don't know if that's a lot or not. You know, I mean, obviously it's going to cycle. I mean, the garage loop goes. There's always, I want to say, 4 degrees if nothing's running in the garage of loss by the time it comes back. So, which I don't think is too bad. That loop that goes through the garage is probably 400 or 500 feet minimum. And they're not insulated lines. I mean, I got the insulation around it, but it's not like a underground line. So there's going to be heat loss. It goes through 3 heat exchangers at all times. So there's loss there. So whether that's the right setup or not, I don't know. It works for me. Like I said, I'm going to redesign all that this year to kind of make it a little bit more efficient. It would be less efficient because I got more pumps running. So as far as electricity goes, but hopefully in the next 2-3 months this whole shop will be all solar powered. Then I won't even care what I'm using. I mean, I will care, but it's not going to cut in my pocket because I already paid for it. So yeah, lots happening here. I'm hoping in the next couple days to get this guy running. I've been so busy with trees and this that I haven't had time to process. I mean, I still have 40 cords I got to get done. Hopefully by the end of May, because I need to get at least another 200 cord or so in before August to process and hopefully get drying. So I'm just going to work myself to death this year. I already know, but that's fine. I got big plans. So yeah, she's running good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about cleaning the ash on the bottom, the top chamber, and that baffle inside them. For those of you that have a C-Series, or just are educated on it, I'd like to know. And obviously I can adjust accordingly for how this guy is. And so yeah, let's see where she's at. Hopefully she is heating and not out. There's no way she could be out, but what the hell? She's still dropping temp. That's kind of odd. Fans are running, right? Let me check. I would have thought by now it would have been done. Yeah, the fans are running. You know, the other thing I was kind of looking at before, so I had this door off for, you know, the whole first day, and then I put it back on. I'm just curious if that bottom, where they have a couple slits on the bottom for like airflow, if that's slowing down how much air is going into the box now that I have the door shut. I wouldn't think so, but it could be, right? I don't know. I may open it up a little bit. I don't think, I mean, I'd have to have somebody open and close it so I could see. Yeah, I can't see anything. So, yeah, I don't know. I would have thought this would have been at temp already, but I'll have to keep an eye on that now. Yeah, she hasn't moved. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think. So far, so good with her, but yeah, pretty excited. I got a long couple days here. I got 2 huge tree jobs we got to do. Probably won't film any of them. They're all a lot of storm damage on one of them. The other job we're going to do the day after is 2 huge willows. We can just drop them right there, cut them up, chip them, so nothing crazy. They're big jobs though, big trees, so it's one of those we're just humping all day long, and I don't have time to be moving cameras and doing all that. So one of these days I probably will film one coming up. Probably won't be till May though. We got to do this monster basswood. That's the one we were just there when the other basswood fell on the house from the storm, so now we're going to take the other one down because they're worried about that, which they should. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think, and as always, keep earning.